Okay, so let's get started. So if you want, so basically, if you want to turn anything into partial fraction, you may have to make sure that your bottom bit is, your bottom bit is in factor form, right? So the next thing you can do after that is make use of the factor form. So you can make use of the factor form and say 4x plus 7 x minus 1 2x plus 3 equal to, well, equal to what? Equal to a over, now it's time to split the fractions up. Minus 1 b 2x plus 3. And now next you have to flatten it out, like flatten. I mean, when I say flatten, I basically mean you have to make this. You have to have the same denominator, like for each one. So if you make the same denominator, well, you will basically have. So you have a 2x plus 3 and b x minus 1, right? And you have the same common denominator, which is 2x plus 3, right? And you would have this over here. You would have where's my pen? Where's my pen? Okay. Over here you would have 4x plus 7 over, the same denominator, right? It's plus 3, right? And if you multiply this bit, if you multiply this bit, then I'm pretty sure this, if you want to move this over here, you have to multiply. So that would cancel out. So you would be left with 4x minus 7, a 2x plus 3 plus b 2x minus 1, right? So what's next? Well, up next is to finding a and b. That's our next job. So how would you find a and b? All right. How would you find a and b? Well, I would find a and b by subbing x with different values, right? So I would say, I wanna make this value 0, so I can have one variable and I can find that one variable. So for example, when x equals to 1, right? When x equals to 1, what happens? Well, we sub in x equals to 1, so 2, 1 plus 3 plus b 1 minus 1. Ba ba da da. This is a magical thing. Now this bit turns into 0. So, and we are left with what? We're left with wait, hold on. We're left with let's change it back to magenta color. We're left with a 2 plus 3, which is 2 times 1 plus 3, which is 5. And 4, that'll be 4 minus 7, which will be minus 3. So you'll be left with 5a minus 3. Your a will be equal to minus 3 over 5. Okay? Minus 3 over 5. And now let's do the same thing with other bit. Okay? So and now we're planning to make this. No, we're planning to make a 0, right? We're planning to make this bit 0, right? So what do you think we should sub in? Well, I can't really. Okay, so to make this value 0, we have to make this minus 3, right? Like this bit, we have to make this bit minus 3, right? So how would we make that minus 3? Well, let's see, 2x. Hold on. I think, let me just 2x. Well, equals to minus 3. Let's see what is the x value that makes it minus 3. Well, minus 3 over 2. X is minus 3 over 2. Okay, so x is minus 3 over 2. When x equals to minus 3 over 2, what happens? What happens? 4 minus 3 over 2 minus 7. Well, a that'd be well 2. Let's just write it down. Minus 3 over 2 minus plus 3, right? So what's happening? What's next? You want to sub it again. B minus 3 over 2 minus 1. Now you see the magic. Now you see the magic. This was my rough work, right? This was my rough work to see what is the x value that makes it minus 3. So what's next? Well, this basically ends up being a 0 because this cancels out. So a0a, which is 0. And what about this? Let's see. Minus 3, well, this is 1.5, but basically that becomes minus 2.5, right? I think, yeah, minus 2.5 b. Don't forget your b over there. Okay, so what about this bit? Well, again, minus. It's 4 times minus 3 over 2, which is 1. This is 2. That'll be minus 6 minus 6 minus 7 minus 13. That'll be minus 13. Okay, and so now you're left with what? Now you're left with minus 13 and minus 2.5b, and if I check it with my calculator, it would be equals to, well, this would be equal to 5.226. I'm not even sure from the okay, so b should be equal to 26 over 5. Okay, so what does this mean? So our a value, we have 3 over 5, and b value 26 over 5. So if we go back over here to this line, we can sub in this value. This is the partial fraction, right? Well, a is minus 3 over 5. Well, that would be, well, minus 3. Let's just change color. It's not interesting, not kidding. Boring. Okay, so minus 3 over 5 over x minus 1. Remember, x minus 1, right? Now what I'm doing is just basically subbing the values over here, right over here. Well, a equals to minus 3 over 5, and b equals to 26. Okay, so plus 26 over, let me just, that was quite big. Okay, so plus 26 over 5. 26 over 5, let's see, 2x plus 3. 2x plus 3? 2x plus 3. Okay, so another trick. Okay, this over here, I'm just subbing in the values. This is your partial fraction. And to just tidy it up, tidy it up even more, we would basically do this. Well, minus 3 stays on top. We want to tie it up, so it becomes 5x minus 1. So how did I get 5 on the bottom? Well, it's basically some algebraic, manipulation. It's not that hard, but just remember, if you get something like that, the denominator just shifts to the bottom.